Hello everyone, today I'm going to show you how to build an in-ear monitoring system for under $1,000, and this will include a wireless unit so you can hear your mix. This will be awesome for your entire band. So let's get started. So the first thing is you'll need a snake, and the snake to connect all your instruments to, and then the snake will go into this Behringer Ultralink, and it is the MS800. Now this is essentially a microphone splitter, and this is essential because you'll need this to split the signal coming from your snake, one to go to your digital mixer and the other to the front of the house. So this is the snake and the Ultralink I bought through Thomann. Now you'll see that the snake is about what you would spend normally, $50 for maybe $50, but usually you'll spend a whole lot more. And then the Behringer Ultralink I spent about 65, and that's both of these items are including the shipping cost into them. So very inexpensive compared to what you would find these off of, say, Amazon for comparable items. So once the signal is split from the Ultralink, you'll send that signal of your instruments into the Focusrite Scarlett 18920. And so this unit is one that you could get on the used market today for about $300. And please note that this is the second generation. The third generation just came out, and there's not much of a used market yet. But please note that the third generation has only been out for a few months. So before then, this Scarlett 18920 was essentially it. So it's not bad. And one may argue this is not a mixer per se. This is an interface. But I'll go into the details on how you can use the Focusrite mix control software so that it can be a true mixer as opposed to an interface, or at least both. So the interface allows you to have on the system itself allows you to have 8 outputs. I am in a 4-piece band, so the following works really well. One of the outputs goes to this wireless unit, and that is one that you can find on Amazon for about $170. It's called the Audio 2000 wireless unit, and it's pretty good. It has a little bit of distortion on certain channels, so you just got to play with the channels to make sure that you eliminate that distortion or interference. And then the second one goes to a wired headphone amplifier that is a Rolls, and this works really well. This is the one that our drummer uses. And then the interface itself also has 2 headphone amps outputs that you can see on the far right, and those also go to the 2 members in our band, so singer and bass player can utilize those. So as wired monitors, and so these all go into the case itself. This is a 10-unit case, Pro X case, and this usually goes for about $180 to $190 new. And if you get the coupons from Guitar Center for 15-20% off, you can get this unit for about $170. So it's a great unit, and it's a great price to have it shipped, brand new to your door. To power all these items up, I am using the Musician's Gear power conditioner. They no longer make these, but when they did, it was $35, and it's fairly inexpensive. You can get a unit around this price range, whether it's new or used. They're fairly affordable. And then one of the costs that I wasn't expecting to be so high are Velcro cables and screws. That ran me around $80 to $100. So a little bit higher than 900 bucks, but still under that price range. So here's a view of how all these things are connected now into the rack itself. Now please note that I have a few extra items that up on top. The first one is a 2-unit rack drawer that I put my laptop in, and the second item is a Seymour Duncan Power Stage 700 that I use as in case something goes wrong with my my Fractal AX8, that I can still plug in directly and go live and plug into this into a cabinet. So what you see here is exactly what I showed in the last screen. Get a closer look into really the Behringer. One of the extra things I bought for about 20 bucks is this 1 unit on a cable management unit, if you will, and that keeps my cables organized and looking, clean. So, and I've also put some labels on the down here as well, so that I don't mix myself up, as especially when I'm sending the signals to the front of the house. I can tell them what each output means. Keeps me organized. Here's a view of the back of the unit, and this is although a lot of cables, they're very much organized. You can see that I have the snake here, and the snake, once it's in the unit, it fits comfortably right here. I mean, it's there. It doesn't disrupt the cables at all. So there's plenty of space. Even with the drawer up above, you can still see that there's plenty of room. On the far right hand side, you'll see a really small fan that's USB powered, and this I like to have just in case there's we end up playing for a while. Want to make sure that the items in the rack are kept cool. Here's a closer look of the back of the unit, and the flowery looking thing is essentially the back part of the snake, and the snake's connected here to the Behringer MS800. And I like that it's connected to the back, because in the event that I want to go up on stage, I can just have this already pre-connected, and I don't have to mess with it. Just roll out the snake and connect my instruments, or the band's instruments, to it. So I want to spend a little bit of time on the Focusrite mix control and why it's important. As you know, DAWs, or laptops in general, they're notorious for having failures, especially when you least expect it. And the beauty about this mix control is that, sure, you need a laptop or a tablet when you first start it out, and you can have individual mixes. You can change the levels of those mixes here, including the click track as that's connected to the snake. But once these levels per channel are saved, to a custom mix, you can actually disconnect your laptop or tablet, and the settings will still remain as intact. So you're not reliant upon a laptop in order to execute your digital mix. So this is a fantastic, this is where the Focusrite 18920 can truly be a dual purpose item, and truly a digital mixer, as opposed to a makeshift digital mixer using a DAW. So benefits are awesome. The big benefit that I see is that you just have zero reliance on the front of the house or mix engineer. The other benefit to that is that you can also send the front of the house individual channels, so that they can mix your channels on their own, and not rely on one mix out. Please note that there are many videos out there that show a much inexpensive way of creating an in-ear monitoring system. However, they do require the front of the house to provide a mixed signal back to you, and and that assumes that they mixed it the way, well, it's limited to the way they mixed it, and so which goes to the second benefit here, which is you have full control of the mix, to your personal likings. You don't have to, use the front of the house's mix. You can use your own mix. This also is good that it protects your ears as you use, you're expected to use in-ear monitors, earbuds, if you will. And then lastly is that, you can be very, tighter band in your performance, as anyone in the band can have access to the click, as opposed to, the typical drummer that would have access to the click. And that's, again, as desired. Not every band member wants to click, and you can have that completely off. This setup assumes the following: that the cost of the laptop or tablet are not included in the $1,000. It assumes that you have that. It also assumes that everyone already has their in-ear monitors and cables associated, so like earbuds or headphones, if you will, and the headphone extenders to the extent that you're going into a wired mix. As you saw in my rack unit, there might be some additional costs that you may need to consider, and rack drawer is not, it's not pertinent that you have it. I do think it's a very very beneficial item, primarily because it keeps things, like my laptop from really bouncing around inside the case, rack case itself. A rack shelf is also important, as it keeps things organized that may not have rack ears. You notice that I don't have essentially dedicated lights, and so finding an LED light strip would be beneficial. And of course, a fan. You can get these really nice rack fans, if you will, or you can go the route I did, which was really utilizing a very inexpensive fan for $10. And that's it. Hope you like it, guys.